Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about the markets. There is also no other live YouTube stream with an intro as as energetic as ours. So we love to start our Fridays off on the right foot, right? But how's everybody doing? Welcome to today's show. I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Tucker and, of course, Big Louie. We might be joined by Prometheus later on today's stream as well. But as always, I mean, you guys know the drill at this point. We're going to cook you up some delicious alpha on the market, send you off into your weekend, rather, hopefully on a high note, or at the very least, on a more on a more aware and educated note. But yeah, before we can start talking about the markets, which I guess that's a fair reaction to kind of what we saw in the overnight session. I'll be honest though, I love that. I love that audio, man. That's one of the best things StreamYard has added. Before we can get into the market conversation, I'm gonna need you guys to hit the like button. Let's run it up. I was looking at the like button on yesterday's video, and I'll be honest, man, it broke my heart. I was the 100th like on the market check video, like 6 to 8 hours after we went live, man. So the like button is in a bear market. Let's run it up. Let's have a great show, and let's have a great Friday. But talking about the market, I mean, we kind of had like a change in behavior a little bit over the last, I would say, 12 or so hours. I mean, we've typically been seeing Asia kind of pump the market up, prove to be a liquidity run, and then we'd sell off maybe into New York Open or right around New York Open. Well, this time we sold off in Asia or London. I'm not quite sure. It was overnight. That's what I know. It was in the overnight session. We sold off. New York Open, I think we caught a little bit of a bid. We've since sold off. Now we're kind of consolidating. Is this kind of a pit stop before we continue the sell-off, or are we looking to potentially prospect a bottom now that we are beginning to come very, very close to the April lows here on Bitcoin? Obviously, we have been talking about throughout this week how MicroStrategy is already trading below the April lows, so it could potentially be leading Bitcoin. Equity markets are green today, but we do have to preface that by saying yesterday they were very green and ended up closing very red. So do we have another potential, another twist to the narrative coming before the weekend, or are they just going to crush volatility into the weekend? I mean, you guys didn't see him, but we were speaking with Prometheus backstage before we went live. He was like, yeah, every Friday they crush volatility. Are we about to see that yet again? But yeah, how are we doing, guys? What are we thinking about the current market right now? Are we surviving? Are we thriving? Do we have any fun weekend plans?
Fun weekend plans. I have to do a test run of a turducken. So
A what?
That'll be interesting.
A what?
A turducken.
You saying it a second time isn't going to make me know what it is.
Chicken stuffed in a duck, stuffed in a turkey.
What?
Yeah. So
that's gross.
I'm having to host Thanksgiving this year, so for the first time ever. So I'm making it turducken.
It'll probably be your last time ever too. Once your family comes and there's a turkey,
it's gonna be fine.
It sounds good.
They're gonna cut into
I'm intrigued by it, if nothing else.
They're gonna cut into a turkey, thinking it's just a turkey, and have a rude surprise, a rude awakening. What is a turducken? Sounds gas.
turducken. Try doing a turbacon.
What does that even taste like, Tucker? I'm curious now.
Never had one. I just heard about the concepts and I was like, I have to do that.
I have to try.
I have to try.
Turducken.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways. So this sell-off we got last night was the bottom so far was 6 a.m. my time. So I think that's London session. I do kind of like, at least for a semi-local bottom, we had some pretty big volume step in relative to the rest of the trend. But I was looking at that this morning. But maybe you can go 3-day better. I would like to see some volume like this to really form a bottom. Obviously, we were able to form this June bottom without giant volume, but we haven't seen big green volume step in like this quite yet. And I was kind of going back, at least on ETH. It's actually better represented on ETH, but and probably better represented by the daily chart. But we had this giant candle that was a local bottom. This was a bottom. Even this, we had some chop solidation afterwards, right? Relatively. We haven't seen any of that. So I'm less inclined to think that we are necessarily. I'm less inclined to think that we're here and more inclined to think that we're somewhere like here, right? Where you haven't seen this giant candle yet. So just solely going off of what the volume's saying, right? But this is a 3-day chart too. We can look at the daily. Even that
trying to ramp a little bit, but
yeah, even this, right? Like here we had a bottom, here we had a bottom. We have not seen that giant red volume spike. Like this was technically into low volume. So here's another example.
Well, today's daily, this is a daily. If you
Yeah.
zoom in a little bit, today's daily volume is going to be high. You could already see it's very higher than yesterday, and we're barely a quarter of the way into today.
This is true. So I would say if you can close the daily volume anywhere near these two, then you've got the case for potentially a bottom. But
yeah,
I'd say not quite yet. But yeah, anyways, that's how I'd like to see the move resolve, is like a giant volume spike here. And then, like that. But go ahead.
No, what do you guys think of this comment, this question?
You guys ever see systemic controlled selling like this? This is not how bears start. It's either crypto's over, we're going turbo higher. I mean, I think you can. Bitcoin's better to look at. I think you can have, because you're talking lower time frame, obviously. Like, I think it's more bearish than it is bullish to have Bitcoin at 83K and only have had controlled selling, right? Like the fact that you haven't had, and I think we're getting closer to the point where it's going to be uncontrolled, but the fact that you haven't had giant capitulation from longs, I mean, you've had some, and you've had short piling for sure, like granted, but the fact that you haven't had like a giant volume spike, especially on Bitcoin, and you haven't had kind of uncontrolled forced selling, and we're already at 83K, does not paint the best picture, So no, I don't think it's over though. I think we're gonna get those conditions I just mentioned, and then we'll be back. But I just don't think we have them quite yet.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we've seen we have seen it at times, to a less extreme degree, from a mechanical walk down type of selling. I mean, we've seen it after the ETF launched. We saw it in the 48 to 60 or 70K range a bunch. I would even say that we saw it at times during SVB when the market was nuking, but I don't think we've ever seen it to this prolonged of a degree without seeing a real capitulation candle. That's the part that's really kind of surprising to me, that we haven't seen more forced selling. We haven't seen more open interest yet. But in a way, I mean, I guess it kind of fits. I'd say this probably no matter what. It kind of fits my bias a little bit, to the extent that we kind of need that fuel to get a real capitulation leg down, like I've kind of been expecting. I don't know. I mean, I think that we have a powder keg at this point, and maybe we bounce, maybe we don't. I think there are a lot of people who have long the last 2 weeks that are most certainly underwater. So I'd certainly lean towards twisting the knife on those participants rather than bouncing before that happens.
Yeah. I mean, from a technical perspective, I think we're definitely coming into levels where, like, if we were in a bubble, in a vacuum, we definitely should see some sort of bounce from. The only outlier here for me is the equity markets. Like, we saw some pretty lethal reversals yesterday, but I still think we need follow through. Like, look at that daily candle on the SPX. Like, that is that's a pretty big, significant reversal. And I think equities have farther to fall. There's a lot of complacent equity investors and traders that are used to up only, or used to days like yesterday and then just immediately bouncing right back. I think the second they don't start to see that, it's going to start being panic mode. And I think equities are going to fall. So I think I'm really waiting on either a miraculous recover out of equities, which I think is highly doubtful, or a big puke out of equities. And then I'll feel more comfortable about a potential bottom. I will say, though, crypto has obviously led this downturn for equities, right? So does that mean it front runs the bottom? It can, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't see a super bullish crypto market with equities selling off. So it's kind of a day by day thing. And then someone asked me this: do I really think alts will outperform? It's a thesis I'm starting to look at and work through. Again, another thing that's kind of day by day. There's no guarantee. It doesn't really make logical sense. I have to say that. But what's really strange is what Bitcoin dominance is looking like and what ETH/BTC is looking like. In this environment, we would normally be seeing Bitcoin dominance rising. Instead, it looks like it's about to fall off a cliff. And ETH/BTC, in an environment like this, usually is dropping hard. Instead, looks like it's not super bullish just yet, but it looks like it wants to reclaim its macro range. So it's confusing, right? But it's not confusing in a way where we still, this entire time cycle, whatever you want to call it, we haven't seen any sort of altcoins taking dominance back from Bitcoin. We haven't seen stuff like the Russell take dominance away from the high cap indices and go into price discovery. So I think there is a world, although it makes little to no logical sense, and maybe that's the trap and maybe that's the scam all along, is that coming out the other side of this, there may be a world where altcoins and low cap stocks still somehow, some way outperform compared to majors. But that would entail likely some sort of, money printing, right? The Fed stepping in, something is obviously broken, and they're forced to turn the money printer on. In that scenario, that makes sense. And that's kind of what I think is going to happen. Again, it's speculation. I'm speculating. I don't know for sure. It's something I'm going to take day by day. But that could be a scenario. And that's where we get the last kind of part of this cycle after this major shakeout. I wouldn't even call this a shakeout anymore. This is just a major bear correction. And I think it's going to be either a super short one or the longest one we've ever seen. I really don't think there's one anywhere in between, to be honest. So we're going to see. It's a day by day.
It's a good find, Tucker.
I mean, this is what I think ETH/BTC is loading. Because I think
we could definitely go down first, for sure, on ETH/BTC.
Yeah.
I think it could definitely go down first, but I think, like, if you go back to like 2021 or something like that, we kind of saw a similar move where we are now on the chart before
2021.
Those moves right there. See how, like, here, can I show my chart?
Yeah.
I agree with you though on ETH/BTC, Louis. I mean, I think when you consider the depth that Bitcoin's already sold, the fact that we haven't seen things like ETH and altcoins just completely immolate is behaviorally different from the rest of the cycle so far.
Yeah.
And, while I do think that ETH Bitcoin will probably still trade lower, I mean, it does kind of speak to the bias that I've been kind of prospecting more and more here over these last few months, which is that, all right, once we do have that correction, it is probably going to make more sense to buy altcoins and altcoins and ETH rather than Bitcoin. And I really think a big reason of that is when we look at Bitcoin, I hate to ask this question, but who is left to buy? We've done $30 billion of ETF volume on Bitcoin just this year. The only entities left to buy are sovereigns. So I think when we're talking about all right, what's realistically going to lead us out of the depths of a larger correction? Well, Bitcoin will always have a passive bid, especially in correlation with equity markets. But I do think the just massively outpaced volume on Bitcoin versus the rest of the space, I think that is it's probably hit its saturation point earlier this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. It really doesn't, it doesn't make sense for something like this to play out unless we get the money printer to go burr. That's kind of what we really need at this point. That's the only. It's either that or I think we're going to be entering a multi-year stagnation in markets across the board.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin will stagnate for a little bit. I don't know what equities are going to necessarily do. I don't think it's going to be a super long stagnation period, but I think some assets are going to rebound much more quickly than others, as they always do. And this, I mean, it's kind of it's kind of like the 60s, 70s, and the 80s from a backdrop standpoint politically, and from the standpoint that it's probably going to remain a stock picker's market. But it's almost it's different because we're in we are in a raging uptrend powered by AI adoption and other exciting technology that I do think is perfectly valid and having that fundamental view over a long term.
Randomly.
They're pricing in a cut now.
Are they?
Yeah.
For December?
71%.
But why? Just because equities had one bad day? I don't get it.
Yeah.
They're all right, we're pricing in.
Yeah, literally.
I don't think you know what a bad day is.
Yeah, dude, equity stock market traders are babies, honestly.
Dude, I was laughing my ass off yesterday for being on Instagram and even on X. So many equity traders just I don't understand. There's no news. This doesn't make any sense. What is going on? I've never seen anything like this. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you don't even know, brother. You don't even know. I was as if you haven't been watching Bitcoin and altcoin just get absolutely shafted for the last month for no reason.
And I think too, Louis, you have people in equities that just position on the basis that they can throw a tantrum and have some form of intervention. And I think that behavior needs to be punished as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of complacency in the equity market for sure. And similarly, how we've been seeing multiple attempts of just longing on the way down in Bitcoin, I think we're going to see the same thing with equity markets. If we get the correction we think we're going to get.
Do we need cuts? Do we need cuts? I think that's a fairly debatable statement at this point.
For assets only.
Yeah, I mean, we need it for risk
holding assets. Let's be real. I have to be honest. Yeah,
the
someone who wants assets to go up. Yeah,
the labor force is strong, right? I say that with quotation marks because I think we know why it's strong.
The labor force is cooked, Tommy.
The native labor force is cooked, man. The labor force is not cooked.
Well, after this, these last couple weeks, the labor force might have some new entrants of crypto investors that lost all their money and gotta get jobs. It's
many such cases.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can't tell me this Bitcoin dominance chart does not look topped.
Definitely looks topped.
It's looked bad before and recovered, so I'll give it that. But I mean, even look at the weekly RSI. Like, came into the lows, rejecting, looking like it wants to roll. And this is kind of has me like it has me a little torn here. Like, why is Bitcoin dominance look like this in an environment where we should be seeing the opposite? So I don't know. We'll see. But this looks like it wants to fall off a cliff. What happens when this happens? We're going to find out, I guess. But yeah, equity's bouncing strong today. But let's see if it sticks. I think if equities don't sell today, I think Monday is going to be bad.
Dude, I'm just wondering how they can keep doing. Like, how long can they realistically keep just doing this vol crush on a Friday? Every bounce just gets like sharply sold into and not breaking any market structure, because they've done it for like at this point over a month. But it has been a pretty good local top and local bottom signal. Like, I do have some new accounts that I'm keeping on my list for when they tweet, I'm like, all right, the local top has been put in. I feel like it's a downtrend, and it has been a downtrend, but it has bounced enough frequently while remaining in a downtrend that it's kept people like very much hooked into the bullish camp. And I think that is, I mean, it just makes sense that it's all going to happen in like 1 or 2 days. And it probably has to happen over a weekend, let's be honest, when people can't really position for it intraday. I think I was talking about this with Tucker like last weekend.
It's this weekend, Tommy. It's this weekend. The quake is coming.
I shouldn't be laughing about that. I'm more laughing at the rhetoric than the event.
Yeah.
They could spend the rest of the day bouncing it, though, for sure. At this point, given the way that we've traded since the open. I will say we did finally see some weakness on Hyperliquid for like the first time in weeks. There was a palpable relative weakness this morning. It was down like 13 or 14%.
Louis, would you do this?
Celestia on stock market.
It's like Celestica, right?
Compare Celestia with crypto boomers or buying crypto ticker on stock market.
I saw that.
Wait, so what?
It's like Celestica, I think.
So you want me to look at the stock or the crypto?
Well, the stock is like in a raging uptrend.
Yeah, put them next to each other.
So what are we looking at here?
Just the difference is hilarious.
Wow.
That's all. Yeah. The state of the market.
How are your coins, Anon? My coins are not good, my remaining coin. That's a crazy chart, though, man.
Yeah.
That's all this year.
What even is this?
This market is infected. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't even like, what are puppets even at? I've lost all my money on my puppets. I lost all my money on Billy too. So if anyone's down on Billy, I can guarantee I'm down much more. So.
Man, oh man. I lost a good chunk of money on the AI dog, man. Rest assured, though, it's going to come back. It's a micro cap now, though, so I can't talk about it on stream. Oh, God.
Oh, here he comes.
Prometheus.
Here he comes. He's grunting.
Hey, Prometheus, what are your thoughts on MicroStrategy?
I'll let Price do the talking. $50.
Yeah, there you go.
$50. $50 a share. Has to be done.
Dude, that chart looks so bad. The reason I'm not really going to entertain a big bounce on Bitcoin here is because MicroStrategy is already trading below the April low with no bounce.
Yeah.
The issue for MicroStrategy is when the MNAV goes sub 1, which it is right now, they have to constantly dilute shareholders. They have to service their debts.
Yeah.
Right? And that's an issue. It's now the flywheel that once had a positive feedback loop now becomes negative, and it's zero. Saylor once took a company minus 99% or 95%, and he's going to do it again.
The only man to do it. He topped the .com bubble, and he's going to do it again.
He's going to do it again.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, there definitely is something to the idea that like his stock only pumps extremely hard during speculative mania.
Yeah.
Yep. He knows a good flywheel.
I'm not one of the people though that's like, yeah, no, we're about to have like a 10-year depression. I think that's
no, absolutely not. They'll print us out of it.
Yeah, I saw that Willy Woo graphic earlier this week. Like, I made a lot of money last cycle fading Willy Woo.
Did you?
Yes. Well, don't you remember in 2021 he was like pounding the table bullish, man, at the top.
I remember.
Dude, Degen Ping got liquidated. You guys see that?
On synthetics or just in general?
On his synthetics account.
I do feel like I gotta defend him a little bit there, just because, not to cape for a stranger, but the competition, you only get paid if you get first place, so you do kind of have to like take risks like a degenerate, or you just take the Evgeny route and delta neutral and hope everybody else gets liquidated. Which is a good strategy.
Did you guys see that competition where like 80%, it was like 100 accounts trading, and it was like a tournament or something. 80% of the accounts got liquidated, and like only 10 of them were actually profitable.
Insane.
Your money's going to the delta neutral guy. The delta neutral Chad.
Study blasting European hardstyle. That's what we need right now. If any of you guys don't know what that is, that's European like techno music. It's an absolute beauty.
You want to play some?
I think the bottom's in here locally. I don't know how to. I just played on my phone and through my mic.
You want to?
I could see them squeeze it back to like 86K, and then I mean, I think it's going to be reversed down, to be honest.
I think they could bounce this thing up into like 95 to 98.
What?
Yeah.
You need to seek God from atheists. That's way too high.
Mm.
That's way too high. 98?
Oh yeah.
So you're looking for like a macro shoulder.
Yeah, it's not the Santa rally, that's the Satan rally, because that's when everybody piles back in.
Oh no, yeah. We get that. We get that
Yeah.
for sure. But I think that happens in December.
Why would we
I
let
think we
all
start
these underwater
bottoming.
bonds off the hook, man?
They're liquidated. We
You think
liquidated
the
them this
November
morning.
lows are in right now?
I think we're in the process of bottoming. I'm not gonna say that like, you know, we can't come down into like 76 to 77, but like probably not 76, but like 78.5.
67. Sorry.
Yeah. You know,
Sorry.
that's a Satan number, by the way. But did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yes. I'm telling you, study asteroids, study the meme 4, study the meme 6,
Space
7.
isn't real, Prometheus. Why would I study asteroids?
Dude, they literally symbolized everything before it happened. I'm telling you, they have to.
You haven't. Have you seen all of the men?
It's in their
You know what? I'm
contract.
not even gonna go down the rabbit hole on the show. We'll talk about it after.
All right.
There's been a lot of predictive programming though. Like I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, CZ holding up the number 4.
What was the 4?
You want a
It's
40K or what?
It's the symbol for rebirth in winter.
That was a long time ago, though.
That was at the top.
Well, you guys remember the beaver moon, right?
That was like in 2023, I thought. 2024.
What, the beaver moon?
No, the 4.
Well, everybody posting it on CT, it getting shilled on media again at the top.
Yeah, maybe
And
that
then
was it.
and then the beaver moon. Then we had the coochie moon.
You know
Beaver
what the
moon.
beaver moon represents, though, right? It represents like you harvesting what you've collected over the course of the spring and summer for winter. It was actually pretty prophetic in hindsight.
Yeah.
Of course, we got 100xGK with the 6-7 joke.
Brain rot.
Bottom's in here locally. They're going to bring it up in a 95. People are going to get so long again, piled back into these markets. It's altcoin season again. It's not the Santa rally, it's the Satan rally. And then they just literally juice back up all the liquidity they need to send this thing back down to like mid 60s to 52K.
Dude, if they form a long shoulder into like the mid to high 90s, I think we're going way lower than that. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Look at the dollar. Look at liquidity flooding out of risk right now. Like these market makers are, complete. I mean, they're pieces of garbage, and I mean they're going to take advantage of this market. There's no. They liquidated it. In my opinion, they liquidated everybody they need to liquidate on this move down, and then they'll get the rest of the people they want to, probably in like end of Q1 to like mid Q2 next year.
Let's look at the dollar.
It looks so good. The dollar looks so good. And you know what they're doing with the dollar is they're pushing everybody, all those nations that left the dollar to go to gold, they're going to make them pay. I'm telling you. They're going to make them pay. They're going to say, hey, how about that asset you guys left the dollar for, and look at it now depreciating in value against what you left.
Kind of bottomed in a similar fashion in 2018. kind of at that same target. But if we're looking at, no, this isn't the right. The other one. If we're looking at it as a multi-year downtrend for the dollar, we could be right here.
That would be interesting. This looks like locally we came into demand. This is like accumulation Johnson. Momentum indicators are like screaming higher. Risk is coming off the board across almost all asset classes. Just like, dude, the dollar looks so good here. I mean, at least up into 105.
I've been thinking they would do some shenanigans with the dollar. It hasn't happened yet, but like where you get like a sharp dip into a big rip that we typically see from like, whipsaw price action, crypto style.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't got it.
Still got to get back above here first before anything.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's gonna send so hard. They're gonna make.
Yeah, you could do the same exact thing you did here.
Yeah.
Imagine I did this again.
Oh my god, it looks like Ethereum.
Yeah, literally.
It's crazy too. Look at BTC JPY.
US. What am I doing?
So just type in BTC and then JPY. So it's Bitcoin denominated in yen, which is really important for risk on signal because a lot of obviously, risk within these markets is supported through the yen carry trade. And so viewing it through its relationship to the yen is generally a good thing to be looking at. But I mean, we're losing massive support on BTC JPY. I mean, this thing is fried. I think we come back down into that like consolidation that we had above the previous highs.
Yeah. I mean, similar target for just normal Bitcoin as well.
Yeah.
Bitcoin chart.
Yeah.
I really could see the dollar like scamming lower here.
What would they have to do that though? I mean, you'd have to start slashing rates in a big way.
It's going to be whatever causes the VIX to spike, man.
Yeah.
This was coming out of the .com bubble.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you got multi-year up and then it bottomed in 2008. So right now we're here if we're comparing, but if it gets back up, then it can do that first. So I don't think Trump wants a strong dollar though. Not like he could totally control it.
No, he does not. He wants rates lower. That's obviously been his biggest sticking point is get rates lower. I'm sure he had a say in the whole decision this morning to lean towards a cut for whatever reason. I'm sure that he went and had a discussion because the idea for them to not cut in December to him would have just been catastrophic. That would have sent him.
man, I'll be honest. I'm looking at the Bitcoin like structure right now. It's pretty amazing how like people have stayed bullish throughout that entire move.
It's cognitive dissonance.
It is. It's just literally been straight down for like 2 weeks.
How can you be bullish on that chart? How could you have been bullish on Bitcoin when we were at like 90, like as soon as we broke 98K? Structure's collapsed. It's done.
That was the last hope.
Yeah.
The second we got that, I was out.
Dixie's going to roll over. I think Dixie's coming up into 105 before we see lower personally. Thanksgiving rally. The past 2 years, they have nuked the markets over Thanksgiving. I don't know if you guys remember. Oh my gosh.
Did they? I don't think they did it in 2023.
Was it last year? I'm pretty sure.
I remember 2023 Bitcoin was in that vertical accumulation pattern that was such a pain in the ass to trade. They might have nuked it around Thanksgiving though. And 2021, I know they nuked it on Thanksgiving because I lost money.
Thanksgiving's the 24th, right?
Is it the 24th? There's no way. It's next Thursday.
Or is it the 28th?
27th, right?
27th?
Yeah, 27th.
Maybe I'm thinking about Christmas. That's what I'm thinking about.
There have been some brutal Thanksgivings in the past, though.
Yeah.
Really, all holidays just fucking suck. Look absolutely stupid every time you see your family on the holidays. It's like, oh, you want to enjoy some family time? No, you're gonna look like an idiot.
Dude, I'm setting my phone in the other room on Thanksgiving this year. I'm not even gonna look at price. I'm not letting it affect my Thanksgiving or Christmas this year. Yeah. Peter says, please give me some bullish news. Like I said, I think we're gonna get not a Santa rally, a Satan rally. People are gonna get gig along. We come up at a 95 into like second to third week of December potentially, and then it's just kaput. Everybody's cushed, and we go down to like 62.
Everybody's cushed.
Everybody's cushed.
Are they coming to Denver?
No, we got a little other. We got the poison dart frog venom for him.
Was that the top of the bounce, boys? What are we thinking?
It might be.
No,
I think that was aggressive. That might have been it, bro.
I think we're gonna put in a bottom here for like I said, 30 to 40 to maybe 60 days, and then it's really over.
Ooh, they're trying.
I think they'll put in a bottom between now and the end of the month, and then send it somewhat in December. But I don't think we're there quite yet.
I think the rest of the month will be very red, and the first half of December could be too. But
You think that they're gonna let the fund managers that have had a tremendous year this
they're
year?
gonna nuke their bags, bro. Exactly.
Well, if you're a fund manager that's up like huge this year, what's your incentive to step in front of the market right now?
Yeah, you nuke your bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, don't most report in October? Like, doesn't their fiscal year end in October?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure most funds fiscal ends in October.
I don't know.
Fuck it, 6-7.
Is this the high for the S&P today?
It's the high for the year.
For the year. But yeah, I mean the S&P is top for the year. That's real.
See, the reason why I think Bitcoin bounces here is I think that if I'm just looking at indices are always so slow to roll over. And if you remember too, Tommy, when we were playing this earlier this year, when we were like so bearish, right? At like earlier this year, and it just fucking would not roll over. Like I remember we were on these calls and I was like, I was like, dude, the S&P has rejected from, what is it, 6,100, 30 out of the last 50 days. Just roll it over already. And it just wouldn't. It just was like beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Tops are a process is so applicable for equity markets, man. It is actually like very annoying to short equities, even though, I mean, small caps I think have been draining and telling you where the S&P is headed. Namely Bitcoin, and a bully Robinhood again, just because it's easy. It's like down 30% from its highs. I don't know. I mean, I think it's coming for the S&P. It'll do the whole thing in 1 or 2 days.
Yeah. So I think like where we're at structurally speaking on the SPX is if you look at December of last year, and I remember this is what I remembered. The DeepSeek news came out on December of last year, particularly Christmas Eve. And we then had like the pullback, and ever since that point, the SPX was unable to break meaningfully higher over the course of the next 60 days. And then that coincided and led into the tariffs, right? The tariff announcements. I think indices are probably going to be pretty stubborn here, just from what I'm expecting. Maybe it doesn't hold up as strong as what we saw at the beginning of this year, but I think that they're going to be stubborn, and then you're going to have like the big blowout.
It's all going to happen in a very short period of time. That much I am confident of.
Yeah. In my opinion, you should not be looking anywhere near on chain at this time.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, this is not
absolutely
the time.
Not.
It's just not. That's like the last thing you look at if and when we have a confirmed reversal and a sustained rally for more than a week or two. Like,
dude, pull up total 3S. So if you look at what we did last cycle, and this is the reason why you should, if you're not already heavy cash or net short, and you're worried about selling the bottom on your alts, this chart is a fantastic reason or viewpoint on why you should be looking to exit your positions. Oh, you did it divided by the ES. Interesting.
Is that not the right way?
Oh, just total 3 and then ES.
Oh, it should be the same chart though, no?
No. It's excludes stablecoins.
Oh, I can just type it then.
Total 3 ES.
Yeah. That's an interesting chart though. I'm going to start using that.
Almost the same.
Almost the same. If you look at last cycle when we had that shoulder formed, right? And when you broke the structure on that shoulder, you went down 65, 62, 65%, right? And if you view this last leg up on total 3 as its shoulder, and if you look at it from a structural perspective where we had broken structure, 2 weeks ago, and from that point to where we're at, we're only down minus 16.5% on total 3S.
Only. That
means that we have another 45% to go if we are matching what happened last cycle. And even if I'm being conservative and I view this as a high time frame range, which you could easily argue that it is, and we come back down and sweep the liquidity from the Japan carry trade wick of last year, that means we still have another minus 45%. So you should not be scared or worried about selling a low, right? Because there's a whole lot of room in this trend for a lot lower. And that's where I think that's where a lot of people have it messed up.
6-7
type shit.
You have a lot of people looking for the shoulder, Prometheus. Even if they think the cycle's over, they want that shoulder to sell into. What happens when everybody wants a high time frame shoulder to sell into? One of two things. You either go straight down or you go back to like new highs. And I think I know which one I think is more likely based on the last few weeks. That's just my view. I mean, I think that, like, I agree with what you're saying from a structural standpoint. Like, it makes a lot of sense for us to bounce and form a shoulder on like a general level. I just don't think that we're going to get it, man. I think we have. It's pretty clear that the selling that we've seen, it has been controlled, but it probably is forced to some degree. I think the rhetoric around like, oh, somebody's blowing up. Like somebody has to be blowing up based on the selling that we're seeing. Like somebody probably already did blow up or is in the process of blowing up. And it's been, I feel like the price action of the last 10 days or so has been like a controlled distributive downtrend, if that makes sense. Like a player is trying to get rid of as much inventory as possible before there is no longer support.
Yeah, it looks like we're like in this phase here. You know, like weekly RSI plummeting into the lows, and like we just saw weeks and weeks and weeks of just selling, little to no bounce. I think a lot of people are looking for this. You know, this little multi-week bull flag.
Everybody that I know,
you do not want this. You do not, unless like you're still holding and want to get out. Yeah, I guess you want this. Yeah, that's why one, I think we might not even get it, but two, this just prolongs the inevitable final bottoming of everything. Like, just fucking do it. You know,
I think the bottom is a time-based thing.
Yeah, well, it can be. Like, yeah, like if we're heading into a normal bear market, you get a year long of downtrend, pretty much. You get a year long of sideways, and then you exit. That's always on the table, right? And we just keep doing these cycles over and over again. I'm more in the camp that things are changing in a way. I just can't prove it yet. But I guess it's more hopeful for not this, more so like this, you know. But we'll see. It's day by day.
Yeah.
If you were trading that 2022 downtrend, that range claimed more bodies than the downtrend did. The first one
here.
Yeah. People got taken out because in that like range, we had 3 or 4 just like incredibly random squeezes. We had the Ukraine.
They were so scammy. Zoom in on the daily.
And then within a day, like there was the largest short liquidation event in crypto history. You had like another thing at one point. There were so many different things that like caused the market to squeeze in that range. And it was brutal. And then you had Do Kwon buying billions of Bitcoin and eventually getting liquidated. That was finally like at the top.
Yeah, this was like Ukraine war. Bang. And he came back down and then bang, swept the highs. A lot of people got caught in this. And
dude, but within that structure where you came down, I mean, you can see there's like a tweezer candle set up in there.
Oh, the tweezer.
You mean this?
Yeah. You see that? That is so disgusting.
Yeah. And then it still went up.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, this bottomed in January and it finally continued down in April. So this is like 4 months of bear market prolonging that you do not want. You really don't.
Dude, but imagine how many people got like giga long in that range.
Yeah. I actually sold Bitcoin and ETH on this, thank God.
Yeah. And then just got carted out.
Yeah.
Man, there were a lot of people who were rightfully bearish before that range who got very bullish on crypto again because of how long that range took to play out.
That's what I think can happen here, like genuinely. And if you look at this move, like from a measured move perspective, this is like essentially the most violent move we've had. The only move more violent than this was 2018. Yeah, from a standard deviation perspective, we've not had a move this violent.
Upside
based
down.
on what?
Standard deviations.
Define that for me.
So like I know what
a standard deviation is, but like what's the context here?
So I mean, I'm not saying like straight down in a straight line or like based off of liquidations or like the prolonged nature of the move has been magnitudes higher than anything we've seen, where usually we see, you know, some form of mean reversion or like some form of bottom get put in, like the length of time this move has in which it has happened and the amount and the size of the move, those two coupled together are the second highest we've seen outside of 2018.
Because I was going to say, I was looking at the 3-day RSI for Bitcoin, and it kind of like confirms that statement. I mean, the 3-day RSI isn't at levels seen since like COVID or like the FTX blow up yet, but I look at you look at the 3-day RSI on Bitcoin in 2018, it was insane how I for one, that's a product of like the fact that, all right, volatility was horribly suppressed before that happened, but yeah, I mean, I think we're about to, the 3-day RSI just crossed over into oversold territory, just crossed over like on this most recent close. I have to feel like either this 3-day candle or the next one, you're going to be putting in a fairly sustainable bottom.
Look at the weekly stochastic. I mean, we just crossed the 50 level.
Don't look at the monthly.
The weekly is still fried. Yeah.
Tuck, can you I'm gonna put you back up.
The monthly RSI is going to cross the 50 level, man.
Here, I got it. I can share.
I gotta run.
Not a good thing.
Pull it up, Prometheus. Pull it up.
Oh, he's cooking.
Every time the monthly RSI crosses the 50 level, the market nukes like 50%.
Mm-hmm.
The monthly RSI?
Yeah.
Yeah, my God, the monthly hasn't even crossed yet. At least on my indicators. It's just starting to.
I remember when we were looking at that monthly RSI, like, oh man, it's going to break out.
You know what's terrifying is the quarterly chart. Bitcoin has never had a bearish engulfing candle. This is the first one.
That is a nasty looking RSI.
This is definitely one of the quickest larger drops for sure in Bitcoin.
Is this not a bearish engulfing candle?
Yeah.
We don't have a bullish candle matching. Like
the one we're getting now is a bearish engulfing.
Yeah.
So this wasn't. If this was slightly green, then it would have been.
I guess. Yeah, it's more or less where it happens. You know.
Yeah.
It's more, but I guess technically, yes, that's a bearish engulfing if it was green, but.
Monthly RSI.
I think they're going to sell this into close, guys.
I think so too. Or they're going to trap everyone into the close and then just puke Sunday night open into Monday.
Well, what happens this weekend, boys? Are we bouncing or no?
I don't
I think if equities don't, like if equities kind of hang out where they are now, I think we could see a squeeze into the weekend.
I think we're going to put in a bottom here, boys, if I'm being real.
I like what Tucker's been saying about it being a slow motion car wreck.
Yeah.
It really feels like that.
Dude, it's not a car wreck. This is Twin Towers. This is the third tower.
I think you need at least 2,500 on ETH, and I think you need 77 Bitcoin. There's no reason this should.
I got to jump, boys. Everyone have a nice weekend.
Have a great weekend, Big Lou.
All right. Have a good one.
Lou.
Later,
Peace.
I think there's a little area here, though.
No, I mean, you're sitting in. If you go into the daily, I mean, we tagged our order block. And then if you look over there to the left, we got a little bit of an order block. So you see that order block down there?
Yeah, I'd get bullish if it got back above 90K for just something. But
Oh, I'm not bullish.
no, I know.
Yeah.
What happens when the bulls have borrowed conviction, Prometheus?
They get liquidated.
honestly, I know people are saying the sentiment's bad. It reminds me of Bitcoin at like 30K last cycle in 2022 when sentiment was bad, and it should be bad. You had these rumors that a bunch of stuff was wrong, and it was wrong, and then the market nuked 50%. So I feel like this is very similar to 30K, where it's like people said, "Oh, no, we can't go below that level. That's impossible." 30, because I don't know if you guys remember, but like in 2021 and 2022, 30K was like, because we'd seen it hold in the summer of 2021, everybody kind of just like a lot of common thought was just that it would hold again. That Bitcoin had almost formed like this new range between 30 and 60K forever. So that when we hit it again in 2022, I remember being on spaces with guys that are now with us at Because Bitcoin. Man, those are some ancient spaces. If you were around for those spaces, shout out to you guys. Maybe a handful of you in the comments that's applicable too. But yeah, I remember arguing. I might have been arguing with the guys like Airmass and Koosh that 30K was not going to hold, and it didn't. And I feel like this spot right now, the structure doesn't exactly look the same, but the sentiment and the way that we've kind of traded into this level, and I think the way that we're going to trade out of it, are going to be very similar.
If we get back to 110, like people in the comments are saying, you're going to new highs.
Yeah.
You don't come back up into 110 and
yeah.
So somebody's asking, what Bearmetheus, what indicators will you be looking at for on-chain? Or what will the indicators look like for on-chain to heat back up? I mean, you need to see, and it's what we've seen every time, like you need to see Bitcoin chatting to the upside, and that creates ripe liquidity conditions for this market, because liquidity has not been stimulative outside of it. So the way to stimulate the liquidity within it is for Bitcoin to chat. Like that is what you have to have happen for on-chain to do well. Otherwise, it's going to be like a 48-hour like base season, or 48-hour, Tron season, or like, 48-hour BSC season, and then everybody like denominates in yuan, and then their yuan goes to zero. Like that's what you need. You need, if you aren't getting if you aren't getting stimulation or stimulus outside of this market, you need to tap in within it. And for that, what you need to happen within it is for Bitcoin to be in expansionary mode higher. And if we bottom out, if you guys remember in like 22 to 23, I mean, nothing happened on chain except for like Pepe, right?
Yeah, until Pepe, really. I mean, I'm trying to think of, in 2022, there was some like you could have played Kanto. I remember that was a pretty good. Shibarium happened, but that came after the 50% markdown on Bitcoin. That came within like the 17 to 25K range. I'm trying to think of what other narratives there were in 2022 down there. Like there were a few. They weren't very lucrative, but you could still do things. Hamster racing was 2023. Hams token.
Forgot about that with like the roll bit. It's around roll bit.
I speak about that coin like I have fond memories of it, but I really don't. Like I think I sold the bottom on the rug and then it bounced back.
Somebody's asking how you become Optimetheus. After a sell-off like this, you need a multi-month like low to get set in. If you just bounce and V recover from here, that's not a low. I want to be very, very, very clear. You are going to find value, and value is created through prolonged periods and ranging environments at highs or lows. That's what value is. Value is not V recovering because Barron announced that he's going to be, creating a Bitcoin strip club. I don't know. Like it's not.
You wouldn't know?
It's not lows. I would not know.
Timetheus?
Ladyboy Lex? I am going, but not for those reasons. Yeah, so I mean, for me to become optimistic on this market, I need to see a multi-month range get put in at like a bottom structure get put in. That's what it'll take for me. The trend is to the downside, and just because I think we're going to bounce here, like I'm not longing any bounce. I'm more so viewing it as an opportunity to reshort this market. And I think a lot of people are going to use it as an opportunity to bid. And I think it's going to trap a lot of people off sides, because it's just like, from a psychological perspective, I mean, people are just like, they'll forget so quick about what just happened if we get a bounce back up into 95K, and they'll just get so long again, and it'll be to their detriment. New highs in Q1. Where's Sal at, by the way? Sig's inside.
Sig's inside. Sal inside.
Bitcoin dominance is really tricky too. And it's something I've been like thinking about for a while now with Bitcoin dominance, is like Bitcoin dominance went up only in a bull market. What do you think happens in a bear market? Right? Higher, in my opinion. I know Tommy has a thesis that Tommy, like double top is 65.
Yeah, I don't think we go all the way up there, but I do think the macro low is in on ETH BTC.
Yeah. And I mean, too, market BTC dominance could go up, and ETH BTC does not necessarily have to go make new lows. Like, that is not what has to happen. I think Bitcoin dominance comes up into 69%. Go tag that shoulder that we left back from December of 2020. And then truly, in my opinion, the next bull run will be altcoin bonanza. It's going to be like actually glorious. And I'm not talking like meme coins. I'm talking about like massive integration, massive monetization. Yeah, like where the space is legitimized in a big, big way. I think that's going to happen next cycle for altcoins.
Hype to $1 trillion.
Potentially. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I've been considering the possibility. Depends on what it's going to do on this downturn, but
dude, if AOC becomes our president, I am relinquishing my passport.
Oh, what time is it? All right. Anything else you guys want to go over?
It's probably a pretty good spot to wrap things up. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed Market Check today, our Friday show before we send you off into your weekend. A reminder that we do these shows Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open. So catch us next week. Our typical start time is around 11:15 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But also make sure to tune in for Market Talk to finish up your day, hosted by the legendary King Wabi. That is an X Spaces hosted through Wabi's account, as well as Because Bitcoin. So make sure to stay following and subscribe to both so you can be notified, not just when we schedule those spaces, but also when we go live. But that's it from us, guys. It's been a long week of red price action, so I'll let y'all off the hook now. We will see you on Monday, Thanksgiving week. We will see what the market gives us over the weekend. Maybe just more chop, range, and nothingness, because that's what we've gotten the last few weekends. But hey, you never know with crypto. Until Monday, though, thanks again, guys. And of course, stay safe.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, Stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal,